Hello, this is the citation for citing a database when you have a newspaper article. For a newspaper article, what we see here is we've got the name of the newspaper, the New York Times, October 14th, 2015. And then we're given, at the bottom, we have the source citation and some information we might need or will need when we go to do the citation. So what we're going to do is go into Noodle Tools and choose. You can choose database first, or you can choose newspaper first. Either way, you can get to the right spot. We're going to go with database, though, because we know if we're in opposing viewpoints, we're in a database. Figuring out if it's a newspaper article, it very well could have been a journal, or it very well could have been a magazine, too, or even a part of a book, as we showed in the other video, how to cite. So we're going to go ahead here and select newspaper from periodicals. And when I select that, I first need the name of the database, its opposing viewpoints and context. We can skip the accession number, the URL, and the DOI. Those are not needed for our MLA citations. Under author, so now we're into the information that's about the actual article itself. So under author, we need to go back and see if we have an author. And when we look up top, there's no indication given, but at the bottom, we actually get the author's name. And so here's the author's last name, and we're going to go ahead and I'm just going to paste that in so I don't have to worry about the spelling. And I can see that he is then I can see that he's given credit there. Now I need the actual title of the article itself. And so this article is called Childbirth, Fracking Link to Early Births. So I take that information, and again, I'm just going to paste that right in. English translation of the article's title we can skip because this is not a translation, but sections and pages start to end. This is important for a newspaper. So we're going to actually have to find out or figure out what section it's part of. That information is down here at the bottom. This isn't a piece of the citation that you might be used to. It says it's part of D6, and then we have the indication that it's L. This is giving us the section number or section information. So what we're going to do is take that. Newspapers are often divided by letters. There's an A, B, C, D section, and then the numbers that are associated with them. The L actually seems like it's part of the citation here. That's something that should be part of it, but really D6 is enough. At that point, what we have to go back and check is we want to make sure that we have the page numbers which are identified, but there's no clear identification of the pages or if they're consecutive or not. We know the newspaper is called the New York Times, and so if I type that in, it's going to tell me to admit the A or something along those lines, so I just put New York Times. City of publication, it should not come as a surprise, but the New York Times would be published in New York. There's not a lot of indication here, though, to give you that information. The only way to find that is to actually find out something about the New York Times company. I'm going to add it because I know that it is true. However, if you're finding that you have a paper there and you can't find the city of publication, it's a little unusual. Usually the names of the city or the names of the newspapers will give away where they're published, but you can always do a quick search for that. Data publication is important as we do want to make sure that we have the right date, and this was published on October, double check, 14th, 2015. So we type in that information. And then edition. Edition is referring to whether it's the national, late, final, eastern, or district if there was a special edition. However, we don't have anything here that indicates that it is part of a special edition. So at this point, again, we filled out the information for the name of the database, the article, and then the page or the section number that it was on. And then we have some information here about the name of the newspaper. And that is all we need. We're going to go ahead and hit submit. And what we end up with is information here. This is our citation. You'll notice that the bracketed city name is put in there. If you were to not have the city name, that it really is okay. That can be excluded from the citation, so we're okay there. And we've got the D6 as the section, and then there's the name of the database. So that's how to cite a newspaper. If you need some help figuring out the section number that it's part of, please let me know.